Hi, I'm Recuerda, the CEO of HYT Watches, and also the CEO of Pressiflex, which is a sister company of HYT Watches. Time is fluid. The HYT project is inscribed in the very long project where the first humans that were living on Earth used the liquids to indicate and to show the time. It was called the clepsydras and the water clocks. It was 4,000 years ago, and we are inscribed into this long period of history. And in 2012, the idea was to recreate a very intuitive way of living the time and representing the time. Inside the watch, we have two liquids. We have a colored liquid and a transparent liquid. And you see that the separation between the two indicates the now, the present. And what we have is that the separation indicates here the hours. So how to read the time on HYT? It gives you a lot of information. You have the colored liquid here, which fills the capillaries, the tube of glass during all the day. And here, this is your past. And here, the transparent liquid, which be filled during all the day by the colored liquid, this is your future. And the boundary between the future and the past is the now. And we have done this unique watch, which is called the H20, as a sculpture. We wanted to have a complete three-dimensionality indication and visualization of the time. That's why we have this huge sapphire dome which protects the time, which is like protecting something very precious. What is more precious than the time? And you see your past, you see the future, you are really living in a flow. It's not an indication of the time that is really abstract when you think of it with a hand. It's something where you see the inscription of the time inside the capillary. So the time changes the space. It's like Einstein said, it's intrication between space and time. You have the space-time here in this watch, and it's a very intuitive way to have a new perspective of the passage of the time instead of having a precise indication with numbers of the time. Here, it's a more human time. I will present you a second watch, which is called the H4. On the H4, we also have the technology of the fluidic indication of the time, which is our first complication. This complication will enter into the new book of the complication watches. This is a reference book that is used by all the watchmakers when they're trained in Switzerland. And HYT Watches has its first complication from the third millenary. Many complications date from the 200 years ago, 150 years ago. We invent complications from the third millenary. And the second complication I will show you now is a light, a purely mechanical system device in order to generate light. And it's also a complication from the third millenary, because you always have an issue, a challenge by reading the time when it's completely dark during the night. And that's why 200 years ago and more, there has been the invention of the carillon, of the sonnerie, where during the night you heard ding, 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 and it was 3 o'clock. So what we wanted to do is to find a new solution for this challenge of reading the time in the night. But we do it with the technology of the third millenary, from contemporary science that we have. What we do is that we have a small device which is integrated inside the watch, which is hidden here, which has its own system of creation of energy. We have a spring inside, a barrel spring, and when we turn the crown like that, we load it. So you are the battery, you bring the energy, you as the human being, the customer. And then when the spring is loaded, you push on it, it will release the barrel spring, it will make a rotation, that's 11,000 runs per minute, of a very tiny device, which is a micro generator, which is metal, very small magnets and copper, and there's this electricity which is created, goes directly to LEDs. And then you have the enlightenment of the watch. So I will do the demo. Here you see that I just load by rotating the crown a couple times, and there, unfortunately, there are lots of light. So you will see that the watch is enlightened from the inside, and you see a very intense also visibility of the liquid, because the green liquid is loaded by a specific fluorescent dye, and the dye is fluorescent, and thanks to the UV LEDs that are here, the green liquid becomes completely fluorescent. So this is a small flight over the HYT innovations. HYT is a brand, is a very young brand, and dedicated to create new perspectives, new way of reading the time, of spending and interacting with your watch. That's good.